So last week we took a look into the hive for the first little view of how things are going. After the video, I decided to put that pickle jar back in there with the sugar water. So I went up to a bee shop that's in town here and I picked up a new super. I was going to show how to put that together, but it's pretty simple. It's just 4 pieces of wood that you nail together. Right? But now that's up on top of the hive, as you can see behind me. So what we're going to do is we'll take a look and see how those new frames are doing, and we'll go from there. Hopefully things are sorting itself out in there and they have a little bit more room. It's around noon and the bees are pretty active right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a smoker, which I don't usually use, but I think it would be pretty good for the video if I used it. So I'll show you how that works. Okay, so this is a smoker, right? They're pretty simple. It's just a bellows that you put some stuff in and burn it. I'll crack it open and show you how it works. All you do is you put in some stuff that's flammable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some newspaper, just like this. You can put in grass or burlap or whatever you want, but I find that newspaper works pretty well. And then I'm going to put in a couple pine cones that I've had going in there, and the whole idea is just to make some smoke. You blow it in there into the hive and it makes the bees kind of chill out, and it's good. What you have to think about though is that this is made out of metal, and as I found out last year, you don't want to grab a hold of it. That's a pretty good idea. Gets pretty hot. Anyways, I'm just gonna get this going. If I can get some flame here. So just get some fire going in there. Add a few little bits and pieces more. You don't want to have a huge fire, you just want to be getting smoke is the thing. So anyways, I'm going to let that go. No sense in showing you all the details of it, because I'm pretty sure you know what fire looks like. And then we'll get this thing going. As you can see, it's going pretty decently now. What you want to do is just make sure it's going. So you pump it a few times, right? Get some flame going. What you don't want to do is kill the fire and then close it up, and then, well, then you got nothing, right? So I just let it go and cook for a few minutes before I close up the lid. Okay, so while that's going, I'm gonna crack open the hive and take a look inside. As you can see, the bees are pretty busy right now. Like I said, it's probably better if you take a look in your hive in the morning, but I thought it would be good for the sake of the video if we did it when it was a little bit more active. It was a cool day this morning, so they would have been pretty docile. It's a little bit more interesting if there's a few bees flying around. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up and see what's going on. Okay, so as you can see, the pickle jar is empty again, and like I said, it's only been about a week, so I know they're still using it, and that's a good deal. I don't mind feeding them. I'd rather have a healthy hive, especially given that it's a nuke that I'm starting with just, you know, a couple months, not even a couple months ago, a month ago. So this is good, but at some point you have to decide that, you know, enough is enough. They know what they're doing, and let them forage a bit more on their own. What I've been reading is that as long as you're feeding them the sugar water, they'll not produce as much honey. So they'll work on their brood, which is good. You want lots of bees to last you into the winter. It's not even full summer yet, right? It's only the beginning of June, so you know, their numbers are still increasing. So I opened up the hive, and what we're going to do is start going through a few of these frames. Okay, so as I don't know if you can see, but just ever so faintly you can see they're starting to pull some comb here, right? Which is pretty cool. That's what I was hoping to see. Right? A little bit of pulled comb. Let's see what else we've got in here. Now most of the bees are down below still, so they don't know to go up here necessarily. Oh, and there's some more pulled comb. That's great. Oh, look at that. Very active. I think this next frame is even more. What you'll find in your hive is that the center of the hive is where they're more active than they are on the outer edges. So this one, yeah. So you take a look at that. They really pulled the comb out on this, which is really neat. I don't see any eggs in there yet, but they're still working at it. It's pretty neat. Let's take a look at the next one. And as you see, I'm using gloves. It's just easier when I'm taking video, I've found. Really interesting. Very nice. Look at the buildup they've made here. Very cool. Same thing on this side. There's a lot going on in this hive. Makes me very happy. I'll pull one more out. Yeah, see, now this one has a little less because that other one was actually at the center. I mashed it a bit, pulling it out, looks like. That's okay. Well, that's why. It wasn't that I mashed it, it's that they're building up the wax in the center. Look at that. Ever neat. The bees know what they want to do. I mean, they've been doing this for millions of years. And the reality is, you know what, we can't tame the bees. They're not our pets. What we are is just kind of helping them out, keeping an eye on them, giving them what they need. That's, at the end of the day, all we can do. Want to help them. I'm going to take off this new super that I put on last week that we were just looking at, and I'm just going to set it aside and take a look into the hive. Alright, so what you have to do is use your hive tool, and you're going to have to crack it open a bit, because the bees like to seal things up, right? These girls aren't so bad, right? But some bees really want to seal things up tight. So just bear with me, I'm just going to move this. Okay, so here we are back in the original hive that we were looking at last week. And I'm going to go through some of these and see what I can see. I'm going to put the camera down for a minute though, so I can actually take a look. So take a look at all of this. This is brood. So these capped cells, that's all going to be brand new bees. It's the same on both sides of this frame too. Let me just turn it around so you can take a look. Right? Look at that. Is that ever something? Really nice. So that means we're in for a whole lot more bees, and the whole hive is like this. You can see a drone, which is kind of cool. So he's got big eyes, and he doesn't really do much but wander around and get fed. The only guys in the hive. See him there? Oops. You can tell by his massive eyes. Well, I think that was a pretty successful inspection of the hive. I didn't see the queen, which is a bit of a drag. I'd rather have seen her, but I saw every indication that she's in there and doing well. There's lots of larvae. I was standing in the shade, which was, I think, a really not good idea when I'm trying to see the queen, and I'm trying to see if there's any eggs in the uncapped cells and things like that. And that part of that was just the time of day, and the hive's under a cherry tree. So next week I think I'll do it a little bit earlier, but we'll see how it goes. It was cool to see all the work going on in the super and a bunch of pulled comb on the frames, and that's a step in the right direction. One thing I should probably say is if you can't have a hive and you want to help out the bees, you can always plant some plants that the bees are gonna like. And most stores nowadays have these little kits that have 4 or 6 different plants in it that attract honeybees. I think that's a pretty cool idea. Not everybody can have a hive, but we can all do our part to help the bees out. And at the end of the day, the bees do well and we do well. And I think that's a good thing.